Oh, it's great. And actually the art is getting better and better.
Yeah.
Somebody, I don't know if it was, there's one named Crime-Inny, and Crime-Inny posted, and some of it is hers. She's an artist and she does really cool drawings that are all Arnold-y stuff. But she also has this humongous page of just images, you know, like you click on it and it might be on DeviantArt or something like that, but you click on it and it'll open to hundreds and hundreds of pictures, and it's whatever, right? Just stuff that you get off the web. It's either stills from shows that she likes or stills from movies or just something interesting. But I forget which artist it is. It isn't her, it's another artist who's on DeviantArt who's doing these big, kind of elaborate, really amazing, kind of just like they'll be like The Hat, and it's a really kind of tall format.
I've seen
You've
that.
seen that one where Arnold's on one end and Helga's upside down on the other. Man, that's great.
Yeah.
Good for them, man. I don't care. I mean, first of all, I don't mind any of this stuff. Anybody wants to do fan art, I don't, you know, it's really Nickelodeon. If Nickelodeon didn't like it, I suppose they would go after him. I don't care.
Yeah.
You better not touch my gal.
I wanted to do like a character that was me, even though it's, you know, not really, but like I wanted to do a character that was like how I felt as a child. And the very first Arnold, he was like much more of a kind of a daydreamer. Those short, I don't know if you saw the little shorts.
Claymations?
Yeah, the claymation shorts. He was just a daydreamer. The first one I did, he was in church and they were doing the 23rd Psalm, and he basically sees, it's like what they're saying is what's kind of going by. The Lord is my shepherd. Like the parents thing, I said, oh, you know, as parents, they're in Africa or something. They're explorers, you know, they're documentarians. They're out shooting wildlife films, and you know, that's why he's living with his grandparents. And then we did 3 seasons, which is 60 shows, and I went, oh, you know, they never even write. It was so easy when I pitched it. Oh, they'll be, they're explorers. And then I was like, oh, this is terrible. And we were learning as we go. We're like, wow, this is really kind of an emotional show.
Yeah.
So what's this guy's, and kids write in, right? We were getting tons of, you know, Nick Online had just gotten going, and we were getting tons of kids would write emails in, and half the questions were like, where is parents? The other one was, what's his last name?
Y el ganador es Arnold. Parece que hay una mancha en el apellido.
Debe ser tú, Arnold.
So I was like, God, I guess I got to figure out where his parents are. I got to really do it. So we talked about it, and I said, I think they have to be lost. I think they had to be doing some kind of humanitarian thing now, because I decided that they were really good, and that's why Arnold is so kind of good, such a kind of a little Buddha. So I said, I think they got lost, and I had just seen The English Patient. I don't know if you guys. Do you remember how they were flying that like biplane and they kind of fly off into Never Never? It was like the end of that one, he's flying off into the desert. I thought that'd be cool. They're flying on like a biplane off, and they fly away, and they get lost, and they never come back, and it's not their fault. So you kind of they're lost.
Yeah.
And then even that, we did that, and it's really sad. Maybe somebody starts a series and they know exactly how it's going to go, and they're like, it'll be 65 stories long, and all these things will happen, and it'll end this way. But I doubt it. I don't think anybody's really that good. You know, the Patakis is something that we pitched because I wanted to do more stuff, and they didn't want more Hey Arnold, and so I said, how about then if we did an older version for like an older audience and have them grown up? And yeah, it's been done. Like Rugrats ended up, after that, they did a thing called All Grown Up.
Right, yeah.
Fans of a show would be naturally like, what would they be like as teenagers? And so I pitched it, but we didn't get past, you know, a pilot premise and Bible and all that kind of stuff that you do when you start a show. So I don't know what would have happened. A lot of cool stuff. Yeah, Helga's a teenager, that's good. She kept it. She tried plucking them and then thought, nah, I'm gonna keep it. So she keeps the monobrow. He said he wanted to be maybe an anthropologist or an architect. Those were 2 things he mentioned in that one called not Career Day. The one where Helga's a genius, but they get the test scores mixed up, and Harold's the one who's supposed to be the genius. Yeah. Yeah. So he said then he wanted to be maybe an anthropologist or an architect. So you know I do Brainy, right?
You're the...
I'm the voice of Brainy.
No, I didn't know that.
So you ready? Why doesn't she just tell him? Which, I mean, kids, especially when you're young, you're like, why is she so why does she make it so nightmarish for herself?
Yeah.
And we actually tried to do that. Like, if you listen to her monologues when she gets out the locket, she explains her motives in Monkey Business, which is it's a great one because it really sets up that she loves Arnold and wishes she could tell him. And she, in fact, the only reason she tries to tell him that she loves him because she thinks she's about to die. And then Phoebe bursts in and goes, "You're not going to die." And she goes, "Oh, thank God," and jumps out of bed and goes, "Oh, great, fantastic." And Arnold's like, "What were you going to tell me that was so important?" She goes, "Nothing. I was delirious. And besides, why would I want to tell an idiot like you, football head?" And then she walks out.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, so she got off the hook again. But that's what she says in her monologue at the beginning. She says, "Someday I want to tell you, but hopefully not soon because it would be embarrassing and humiliating."
Right.
And and so that's her thing. She thinks that if she told him, everybody would laugh at her and she'd be the laughing stock. And she's afraid. She's vulnerable. She thinks maybe he might not return her love.
Right.
So she'd rather be abusive and kind of stuck in that kind of endless cycle of just being mean than dare to tell him the truth.
Right.
That's what, and I think that's really poignant. You know?
Ah, Arnold, qué nerd, qué tonto, qué loco con gorra, como lo odio. Sin embargo, lo amo.
I think childhood's all about unrequited love and about the one person that you really care about you can't tell, and then you never know. Early when we were first starting it, when we were just making the pilot, it was like, what if Helga secretly loved, pretended to hate him but secretly loved him? That was from the very start. That was the key thing.
I just loved when she finally told him, and then at the end, when she took it back, I thought that was perfect.
Good, you like that? Because a lot of fans were like, "What? Oh God!"
Not again.
And then we had to go back to some kind of status quo.
Right.
It just meant to be like, okay, we're gonna agree to pretend that you never said that.
Right.
But it was so fun, man. I remember we wrote that scene, the scene where she tells him, and it's huge. It goes on for pages. It's a huge kind of symphonic confession, all on a rooftop and storming out or something. I can't remember. The wind's blowing, and we'd been waiting to do that scene for 5 years, man.
Te amo, Arnold, te amo desde la primera vez que vi tu cabeza de balón.
So anyway, yes, fans, Arnold loves Helga. They're meant for each other. They'll live happily ever after. They get married someday. They make kids. It's amazing. Yeah, Married was one of those shows where it was like, well, see, this is how we feel about them.
Right.
And and it's kind of, they're forever, it's like clowning around and not getting it right, and they're always, Helga can't help herself, she's always saying the wrong thing and getting in trouble.
Ruth is lightweight.
That's the way she is. She's a character who is really lovable once you get to know her, and you sympathize. All that stuff was set up so that you feel like she's a really kind of great soul. She's really poetic and talented and funny, and she just has these sort of rotten parents.
¿Quién me llevará a la escuela?
Sí, en un momento.
Soy tu hija Helga, papá, Helga.
Como sea.
And the big sister who gets all the attention.
Fue maravilloso, papá.
So then you're feeling for her. You're on her side. Even though she's mean and kind of a jerk, you still like her best because she's so cool. She's so interesting. Fans, if you write a letter to Nickelodeon, don't be abusive and say that they're, clueless. Say something really nice, like, God, I love watching your shows on Nickelodeon, especially Hey Arnold, why don't you make more? Something like that. Try that.
Yeah, we're good.
Sun has gone down, we've run out of light.
Thank you so much for
It was
taking
great.
the time. Yes, it was so great talking with you.
Boy, did we talk about Hey Arnold.
Oh man, I know. Greg Bartlett, right here.
When life gets you down, wearing a frown, don't look away, look up. 'Cause memories true come out of the blue. You know the way, look up. Come on, Arnold.
Grandma, I'm really not in the mood.